car.
It would. Yeah, definitely would.
Well, Premier League. It's back this weekend. It was back last weekend, to be fair, for a limited run, let's say. Liverpool versus Chelsea kicking off Sunday at 4:30. Liverpool beat Porto in the week with a bit of a shuffled midfield and a very business-like attitude. They obviously set the stall out, scored a couple of goals. Milner came in at full-back. It was a bit of a stroll in the end, wasn't it?
I don't know if I agree with that. I thought Porto had a few chances. They were certainly better than when they played against Liverpool the year before, which wasn't difficult, of course. But they won the game 2-0 in the home leg of a Champions League quarter-final. It's an absolute textbook.
Yeah.
So, of course, I'm not sort of trying to trivialise what they've achieved.
Should they have gone for more, though, Luke?
I think they did, though.
Yeah, I think they
did. And Mane was perhaps a touch unlucky not to have his goal stand. And they did go for more. And I believe that's why they left Porto open for a few chances, obviously chances they couldn't take in the end. Alisson made a decent save. But looking ahead to the Chelsea game, what I like about this when this game comes around, and I guess to an extent it's around the start of when the Football Ramble had its inception. Liverpool and Chelsea had this quite interesting rivalry for a few years, didn't they?
Absolutely, and a lot of really heated ding-dongs.
And what it culminated in is something that I don't think enough people remember, is that at one point, Liverpool and Chelsea, I think it would have been 2005, 2006, were in the same Champions League group.
Yes.
Because Liverpool won the Champions League and got special dispensation to go into it as an extra team.
And the country protection didn't count, did it?
No, and they got drawn in the same group as Chelsea.
Yeah.
2-0 in the group stage, so it was, less said about that, the better. But
that was it, yeah. Basically, the anger was around the games was better than the actual football, wasn't it, for a while? It became very boring.
And then, of course, they played each other in the knockout stage in 08-09, which ended in there was a 4-4 draw in there. I think it was the season Chelsea knocked them out. They beat them 3-1 at Anfield, I believe. So there's a lot of history to this fixture, a lot of animosity. Of course, the Benitez factor played into that as well. When he
a
went
legend for both clubs.
Yeah, absolutely. Warmly received, both in Liverpool and in West London. So it should be a really good game. I'm going to be controversial here. Is it the thigh rubber of the weekend when we've got a Cardiff Burnley game, which is a lot more on at stake there?
I think the quality of the football is a huge reason for me to put my hand
up for Burnley v Cardiff
onto your thigh. Yeah. And you don't need any sort of you don't need encouragement, basically, do you?
No, I think Dyche versus Warnock is a thigh rubber.
Yeah, both quite explosive.
Yeah.
Older men.
Definitely.
I don't think, but I think they cancel each other out. I think they're both of the type who won't step up to someone like them. Do you know what I mean? Warnock won't step up to Dyche.
No, but they might do separately mental things.
Warnock won't step up to anyone who's not foreign.
Well, he's gutted. He just wants us to get on with it. I know
that.
Yeah. Halloween beckons.
Even Big Sam. Yeah.
Big Gam.
Well, I mean, looking at players coming back into the Liverpool side, certainly. Joe Gomez back on the subs bench after a broken leg, and the Ox as well. He played in a friendly at Melwood, so he may be seen before the end of the season, which is very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it really, he's very much the forgotten man there. For obviously, because he's not been around, and it's a real shame because he was having a real impact for them last season. And, you know, when he comes back, he adds a real depth to their squad there, and good luck to him. He seems a good guy.
Who's that? The Ox.
Yes,
the Ox.
Yeah. And Gomez is really important. I mean, he was probably at least, you know, I think he was the preferred partner for Van Dijk.
And they were very, very solid when that was the partnership. And given that he's only 21,
Southgate likes him as well, so it's important. It's great news for them. And Oxlade-Chamberlain is someone who will certainly improve. Well, it'll obviously be too soon for him to come back for the title running, will it? I don't think he can make a realistic impact, can he? Maybe. I don't know.
You need bodies at this time of the season, I'd say.
Imagine if he came back for the semi-final and did himself in again. That'd be terrible, wouldn't it?
Well, that's basically what Klopp has been saying, though, isn't it? That he needs to.
What, he's going to do that?
No, he's not.
I'm going to get him.
If he doesn't do it himself, I'm going to do it for him.
It's not his leg; it's Liverpool's leg, and I'm going to run it into the ground.
Yeah. So, speaking of players coming back, Danny Drinkwater very much not coming back under Sarri. He's a good player, and he's able to play in a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-3-1 very well, but he's not suitable for me.
Yeah, he said that he basically told him this in August, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's been sticking around.
Stick around.
Would he be the sort of player to just pick up a paycheck and just kick around?
He has done.
I mean, he has done thus far, but still.
But I mean, his recent behaviour implies that he's not in the best place in his head if he's behaving like that.
Looking at him any time in football's career.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
he needs a move, obviously. And the apex of his career, clearly when he was integral to that Premier League winning team, at Leicester, and he was very, very close to the England squad for the World Cup. Was it the World Cup or was it the Euros? It was the Euros, wasn't it? Of course, it was the Euros. And he played in the friendly. I thought he did well, but he didn't get the nod. He's just rotting at the moment. I mean, the guy, because he's peaked kind of quite late. I think he's just 29, so he's recently turned 29, so he needs a move. There's talk of it being linked to West Ham, isn't there? He needs to go. And the Sarri thing, I know it sounds flippant, but you got to remember the context is Sarri's the guy who arguably more than anyone else plays a specific style.
Yeah.
And he's always going to play three midfield. And if Drinkwater doesn't fit in a three in midfield, which he doesn't, by the way, he fits perfectly in a two, as we saw with him with Conte in the Leicester team, it's best for him to go. I'm surprised that he hasn't gone already, either last summer, as you mentioned, or in January. But clearly it must just be he's got
massive wages demands, and I think
difficult to get off the wage.
I think they're talking like 10 million loan. Yes, you got to pay 10 million to have him on loan.
Also, as well, the thing is though, I mean, if Chelsea are looking at a transfer ban coming up, and the manager is publicly saying that he's not part of his plans. I mean, it couldn't.
You are low down the pecking order if that is happening, isn't it?
The draw between Liverpool and Chelsea is 3-1 with Bet365. £10 will return £40, including stake. Should there be a stalemate? When is it? Sunday afternoon?
It is, yeah. 4:30.
I
don't know. Liverpool can't. It's so tense at the top. It's not quite so tense at the bottom. That's what I'm quite enjoying about this Premier League season. There's actually a bit of competition at the top going into the last few matches.
Could it be? Sorry, Jimmy. Could it be a situation where Man City play Palace? Right, we'll talk about them in a minute. Yeah. If they win and Liverpool lose, Man City go a point above Liverpool with a game in hand. It's difficult for Liverpool from then, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Difficult.
You would think. Unless City sort of start to wobble a bit themselves, which could well happen. But Liverpool haven't actually won any of their last 6 Premier League matches at Anfield against Chelsea.
Turf Moor, gentlemen.
Speaking
will
of
be the scene of on Saturday, 3 p.m. Burnley versus Cardiff City. You were having this as the biggest thigh rubber of the weekend. I slightly disagreed. What's your take on this one?
My take on it is that people must be out of their goddamn mind not putting this on TV.
Right, yeah. It seems strange to have, but for the Burnley fans, certainly playing at home, they can have a 3 p.m. absolute ding dong, which you don't normally see.
So I suppose we can say that we prioritise people actually going to the game. Good for them. I'm not going to Burnley on a Saturday afternoon. I won't be able to get a ticket anyway. Yeah. That game's got to be moved. It's got to be on. Listen, if we all understand that certain games, regardless of how fans are not looked after, and we know all about that, certain games are going to be on TV. Friday night, for goodness sake, Leicester v Newcastle United.
Yeah, that's
boring.
Not great. That's not great.
Boring.
We haven't had a Friday for a while, though, to be fair.
Burnley, it was last Friday was a game.
No, Newcastle.
Oh, Newcastle, okay. Burnley against Cardiff should be the game that's being shown on Saturday at 5:30, which is currently Man United West Ham. No one gives a shit about that.
Either move it or resurrect Reddit's soccer streams folder, which doesn't exist anymore, which is quite upsetting. Burnley striker Chris Wood reckons that this is a bigger one for the opponent's Cardiff. Are you having that? I think it's pretty big for Burnley, mate.
I think that's terrible mind game because Neil Warnock and Cardiff really needs to feel like it's bigger for them. It's unusual for me that because I think Burnley win this and they're safe, right?
Pretty much. That's 11 points ahead of Cardiff. But Burnley still have to play Chelsea, Man City, Everton, and Arsenal. This is a cup final for them, in my mind.
Very much so. They have to get the 3 points on the board there. I think, he's right, isn't he? Because Cardiff look like they are more and more likely to be that third team going down. But with that in mind, there's no room for error for them. They've got to fight tooth and nail with every minute they've got available to them. So I think this is that's just invited pressure on Burnley there.
Yeah, Cardiff haven't won a game. I don't think. Admittedly, they might have only played a couple of games, but they haven't won a game. They were against Chelsea and Man City. But they haven't won a game since Sol Bamba got injured.
Right. And the referees muffed them. Referees relegated that team.
Is that right?
Tore the life out of this. What was the Ribby thing?
Oh yeah, he said. He also said earlier in the season when Joe Rawls took out Lucas Moura, was it? I don't think it should have been a red. He didn't endanger the player's life.
Yeah.
So complicated relationship with the kind of laws of the game.
Yeah.
If he's carrying weaponry, that's a harsh yellow.
Yeah, yeah. So I think it's a huge game for both teams. But you're right to point out, Burnley's last 4 games are absolutely horrific. That said, even if they get a draw against Cardiff and they don't win any more games, they're expecting Cardiff to do quite a lot better than they have done already to date. So it's even there, it's not over. So it's a much bigger game for Cardiff. It's purely because Cardiff don't win. It's almost certainly curtains for them, which we didn't think we would say 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks ago when they were really very much part of the conversation. So yeah, it'll be a good game. I just wish we could watch it. And because I will not countenance the idea of watching football illegally, Pete Donaldson, I will have to just suffer in silence.
Oh, you've never suffered in silence in your life, Luke Moore.
But Burnley are 5-6 to win this with Bet365. So £10 returns £18.33, including stake.
Yeah, they're back on form, I think it's fair to say. So I think they're definitely, they'll probably turn Cardiff over.
Dyche was saying after the game last week, I think it was, did they win? Yeah, they won at Bournemouth last week quite well,
3
didn't
in a
they?
row, isn't it?
Yeah, he was saying I think it's 2 in a row because
row.
they lost to Leicester.
Right.
But he was saying that on form since the turn of the year or something like that, they're like 6th in the table or something.
Yeah.
So
Somebody
they've turned it around.
Somebody produced a chart of VAR decisions versus non-VAR decisions, i.e. decisions that get overturned in Italy, and looked at like how the results and the decisions kind of average out over a season. And most teams were pretty much in the same slot, same place in the league. So
that's interesting.
Yeah. Apart from one team, I think went from 16 to relegated, which I thought was quite good.